Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. This is your English class and I am your subject teacher, Miss Fawzia Naz. I'm going to recap the lesson first for all those students who had joined us today. So, students, I started with you people, unit 1 from the book, that is first attempts and challenges. Under this unit, I started reading selection 1.1, that is his first flight. In the story, we had read about the condition of a seagull before taking his first flight. This is a story by Liam O'Flaherty. It's an account of a young bird that is afraid to fly for the first time. And the bird believes that his wings would not support him. Despite his younger siblings, they had flown fearlessly with much shorter wings, but he could not gather the courage to do the same. So he was punished to stay hungry if he did not try. Thus, it was the mother that compelled him to fly by using food as a trap. So, this lesson also reflects how one hesitates to take the first step, and that fear is all in the mind. One should trust one's abilities because the fear of suffering is worse than suffering itself. Then I shared with you people the message of the author. What does he want to convey to you people through this story? That was the journey of 1,000 miles begin with a single step. Then through these pictures I made this story more easy for you people to comprehend and to understand. So in picture number 1, you can see a seagull standing on a ledge all alone. Nobody was around him. The whole family had left him alone over there. They had been enjoying their own life. They had been diving. They had been catching the fishes, and there was nothing left for him to eat on the ledge, on the cliff. So what he had done, he had been eating the spotted eggshells from where he had been hatched. So while standing on one leg, looking towards the family, showing them that he doesn't bother their activity, and he had pretended that he was taking rest, but actually he was sad and desperate of his cowardice. So yesterday I did the reading of 2 pages with you people. The last line that I had read for you people was, he uttered a low cackle. So he produced a sound to attract his mother's attention, the mother who had been eating a fish. So his mother cackled too. She also answered him. When she saw him producing a sound, she also had shown that she was attracted and attentive towards him and looked over at him. So what sound he had produced? Ga, ga, ga. Ga, ga, ga क्या है? It's a sound produced by the seagull. So seagull ये आवाज़ जब निकाल रहा है, तो in that sound, in that voice, there was a request, as he had been begging her to bring some food. Gawla, she screamed back derisively. Okay, the mother, she also screamed back. She also produced a sound in response, but in that sound there was contempt. He did not like the way he had requested for the food. Derisively means that she was expressing her contempt towards his request. So, but he kept calling plaintively. Plaintively over here means sadly. He uttered those sounds and he begged for the food. And after a minute or so, he uttered a joyous scream. So after a minute, he uttered a very joyous scream. क्यों वो बहुत ज़्यादा उसने खुशी से चीखें मारना शुरू कर दी थी? It is all because his mother had picked up a piece of fish and was flying across to him with it, and he leaned out eagerly, tapping the rock with his feet, trying to get nearer to her as she flew across. So what you can see a seagull in the picture producing the sound, screaming joyously. As what he saw the mother. She had picked that piece of fish and she had been flying towards him, and he was thinking that the mother had been bringing a food for him. So he was tapping eagerly on that ledge. Then in the next paragraph, what does he do? But when she was just opposite to him, she halted. Oh my God! क्या हुआ उसके साथ? उसके साथ ये हुआ कि जैसे ही वो उसके नज़दीक पहुंची है, she did not give that food to him. She halted. Halted means she stopped in the air. Her wings were motionless, and the piece of fish in her beak almost within the reach of his beak. He waited a moment in surprise, wondering why she didn't give it nearer. She didn't come nearer, and then, maddened by hunger, he dived at the fish. So what trick the mother had played? She had that piece of fish in her beak. She did not give that piece of fish to him. She just halted in the air. She wanted him to take that piece of fish from her by himself. So for that she halted in the air, and as he was hungry, and he was mad because of hunger, so he dived at the fish. As he dived at the fish, what happened with that poor seagull? With a loud scream, he fell outwards and downwards into the space, because क्या हुआ था उसके साथ कि he was standing on the brink of the ledge. आखिरी किनारे पे तो वो खड़ा हुआ था. So जैसे ही मदर जो है वो he dived at the fish, और मदर जो है वो वैसे ही हवा में जो है वो खड़ी हुई थी. तो जैसे उसने डाइव किया, he fell down. See, he fell outwards and downwards in the space. Then a monstrous terror seized him and his heart stood still. क्या हुआ बेचारे के साथ कि भी एक horrible fear था that was in his mind कि what would happen with him. He was falling downward and outward, and that seized him, that grabbed him, that fear grabbed him, and he was unable to even breathe. He could hear nothing, but it only lasted a minute. But that feeling of fear, it remained with him for a minute. The next moment he felt his wings spread outwards. The wind rushed against his breast feathers, and then under his stomach and against his wings. So उसके साथ हुआ क्या कि अब हवा में था as he was a bird. तो bird ने जैसे अपने पंख फैलाए हैं, तो definitely he started moving it up and down, and the wind was passing through his wings, and it was passing through his breast feathers, through his stomach. So every like as बर्ड तो होते ही उड़ने के लिए है ना, तो जैसे उसने अपने पंख फैलाए हैं, he started flying. So he could feel the tips of his wings cutting through the air. He was not falling headlong now. Headlong means with the head foremost. अब सर के बल नहीं वो नीचे गिर रहा है, ठीक है. He was not falling headlong now. He was soaring gradually downwards and outwards, and he was no longer afraid. अब जब वो सोर कर रहा है, when he was rising high, then definitely he was no longer afraid. That fear that he could not fly, the fear that he would fall down, the fear that he would be drowned in the sea, that was all gone, because his wings now supported him. So the writer's point of view, what was writer's point of view that I discussed with you earlier, that one should trust one's abilities, because the fear of suffering is worse than the suffering itself. What was the fear of suffering? He was frightened that he would not be able to fly, so that made his condition more worse, right? So moving to the next slide, he just felt a bit dizzy. Dizzy over him means that he lost his consciousness for a while. Then he flapped his wings once and he soared upwards. Ga, ga, ga. Soared means that he was flying or rising high in the air. He had been enjoying, he was producing the proud cackles. Kala, his mother swooped past him. Swooped means that she was moved rapidly downwards through the air, his wings making a loud noise. He answered her with another scream. Then his father flew over him, screaming. He saw his two brothers and his sister flying around him, curvetting and banking and soaring and diving. So what is the condition of the whole family? The whole family gathered around him. The whole family had been enjoying that success. The whole family was there to feel proud for him. So with all these things, what does the writer want to say? That when he mustered up his courage, when he was able to fly, the whole family was there to enjoy that success. Okay, then the next paragraph is that then he completely forgot that he had not always been able to fly, and commended himself to dive and soar and curve, shrieking shrilly. He was near the sea now, flying straight over it, facing straight out toward the ocean. अभी क्या हुआ? अभी उसको सब भूल गया. The way he had been avoiding to fly, he forgot that he was unable to muster up the courage. मतलब उसको सब चीज़ें ये भूल गई कि भी मुझे क्या मसला हो रहा था, मैं कैसे जो है वो बिहेव कर रहा था. नाउ व्हाट ही हैड बीन डूइंग, ही वाज डाइविंग एंड सोरिंग एंड curvetting, shrieking shrilly. He was near the sea now. अब क्या है, वो समुद्र के नज़दीक पहुंच गया. Flying straight over it, facing straight out over the ocean. He saw a vast green sea beneath him with little ridges moving over it, and he turned his beak sideways and cawed amusedly. So he was enjoying his flight, his movement above the sky. He also was enjoying the ridges in the sea. The green sea was just beneath him. He had been enjoying everything. Okay, then the next slide says that his parents and his brother and sister had landed on the green flooring ahead of him. They were beckoning to him, calling shrilly. He dropped his legs to stand on the green sea. Beckoning means that they had been producing the gesture with their heads. So he dropped his legs to stand on the green sea. His legs sank into it. He screamed with fright and attempted to rise again, flapping his wings. अभी क्या हुआ, उसने ग्रीन सी तो देखा. He had that interest कि भी वो ग्रीन सी को टच करे. So what he had done, उसने अपनी जो legs हैं, he dipped them into the water, और एकदम से उसको लगा कि जैसे he would drown again. He flapped his wings, but as he flapped his wings, he also he was tired at that time, and he was weak as well because of hunger, but he could not rise. So when he could not rise, exhausted by the strange exercise, his feet sank into the green sea, and then his belly touched it and sank no farther. He was floating on it, and around him his family was screaming, praising him, and his beaks were offering him scraps of dogfish. He had made his first flight. So the whole family was producing the proud sounds. The whole family was around him. He tried to touch the surface of the green sea, and when he touched it, he felt that he would drown into the water. But what happened with all his efforts, when he became tired and he became weak because of hunger, he stopped trying. And what happened then? He started floating on the surface of the sea, and this was his success. And in his success, the whole family was around him. They had been producing the proud cackles. They had been praising him. They had been appreciating him. So this is all. The story ended over here, that how the young seagull had made his first flight. And just remember the message of the writer, that if you people, what was the message? That if you people want to take a journey of 1,000 miles, you have to begin with a single step. You have to encourage yourself to take the first step. This is the message that the writer wants to give you, and he wants you people to think about it, that if you want to do something great, you have to start your efforts now. Thank you very much.